Does your dog pull on lead? This is one of the most common issues we trainers are called on to help fix. Whilst this is not a how-to tutorial video, because every situation is different and therefore requires a one-on-one session with an actual trainer. This short video will hopefully give you some ideas, tips and pointers, including the correct equipment and how to use it to be able to help you to achieve loose lead walking. Using the right equipment is key. Let's take a look. Firstly, we do not recommend you put a pulling dog on a walking harness. These do no favours for you. In fact, they actually promote pulling. Please do not put a walking harness on a dog that already pulls. It is not going to help you to achieve loose lead walking. Let's look at the equipment that does help you. First one is called a Spawn No Pull Training Halter. This is a good little tool that eliminates a good 30% of the dog's pulling capacity. It is very good for puppies and brachycephalic dogs. Whilst it doesn't stop the pulling altogether, it does significantly eliminate your dog's pulling capacity. The next recommended tool is the Black Dog Infinite Halter. This is different from the regular Gentle Leader head halter. The Infinite halter works by distributing the pressure evenly from around the dog's nose and around the dog's neck. You're not just controlling the dog from the head, the pressure is also distributed around the neck. So therefore it is a far gentler tool, yet being much more effective than just a simple head halter. And lastly is the slip lead, which is really good for notorious, very strong pullers. Here's a little bit about the slip lead and how to use it.
Hi everyone, this is Trish from Four Paws Canine Training. I'm going to talk to you about slip leads today. What slip leads are for, how to fit them correctly, and then just a little bit of tips and pointers on how to use them correctly. Now this little video does not take the place of a private consult or a one-on-one consult where I can actually show you, or a trainer can actually show you how to use this correctly. But it is just to give you a bit of guidance. If you have tried everything and you've got a dog that pulls notoriously on the lead, then a slip lead might just help you achieve loose lead walking. So firstly, what is a slip lead? Well, it is a piece of, generally is a piece of rope. It is a very soft sort of a rope that you can feel it's nice and comfortable on your hands. And it is pretty much, has a little bit of a hoop here, as you can see. And it's designed to go over the dog's head, and it sits quite high, just under the ears, and it's supposed to be sort of left a little bit tighter, not loose. You sort of wear it like the dog wears it like a watch band, so it just sits nice and snug underneath the ears. And basically what it does is that when the dog pulls, you put a little bit of pressure on the lead, just pulling up slightly, and then when the dog stops pulling, you release the pressure immediately. So the slip lead, whilst it looks like a correction chain, that's the chain that goes around the head, and you sort of use it as a bit of a correction method. This works a little bit differently to that. So this works on the pressure on, pressure off sort of model of training. The way you would fit the slip lead is that it needs to be in the shape of a P formation as it's facing you and goes on the dog. Once it's on the dog, it needs to fit or sit quite high on the head, just underneath the ears. Now the reason for that is because that's the most sensitive part of the dog's neck. So it means you can put less pressure and get more effective control or a bit more response outcome out of the dog. Putting it down too low in the neck, most of the time the dog's already developed some nice thick muscles just from pulling through the collar, so it's going to be quite ineffective if you leave it down there. So I would recommend you put it up nice and high. Don't worry, you're not going to harm your dog, you're not doing anything like that. It is just going to give you a little bit more communication with your dog and be able to help you get better control out of your dog when you're going out for walks. So sitting on the dog's head, nice and high under the ears. Just a quick demo on how it's used, and I'll put it on my own dog so you see how it fits. You place the dog, obviously the dog is walking by your side. When the dog pulls, we put pressure on, just a little bit of pressure, so we're just putting pressure on up. We push back a little bit, and when the dog yields to that pressure, we release, okay? So the dog pulls, we stop, we put pressure, we go back a little bit, the dog yields, we release. It's pretty much that action, pull, pressure, release. You would hold it then, okay, how you would hold pretty much a suitcase. So let's say, for instance, I have my hand right through the hoop. So you get different varieties where you've got a longer hoop, and then you've got varieties where you've got a shorter hoop. So ideally you would want to put your hand right through the hoop, thumb over, palm to the sky, close your palm. And you hold your hand, or your both hands here, to your tummy. Alternatively is you put your thumb over the hoop, and this is where you want to hold your hand, or you hold the lead or hold your dog on the same side as the lead that you're holding. So hand through the hoop, gather it a good 3/4 of the way, drape it over your thumb, palm to the sky, gathering all the rope, and close your palm. And this pretty much allows you a little bit more effective control. It allows you to dictate the length of the rope, so nothing's going to shorten or lengthen here, okay? It stays the way it is. And of course you keep your hands to your side here. I would like to see you hold your hand like you would a suitcase, okay? So just sort of relaxed this way. If your dog pulls, again, you stop, put pressure on, go back a little bit, dog yields, release the pressure, okay? Dog pulls, pressure on, back a little bit, dog yields, release the pressure straight away. It's not about keeping the pressure on, you need to release the pressure as soon as the dog yields to that pressure that you're putting on. Let me show you what it looks like with my dog ring.
As you can see here, the slip lead is fitted high on Rain's head, just underneath her ears. I'm holding the lead like I would a suitcase, nice and relaxed by my side, and I can use both hands for those dogs that are very, very strong pullers. The whole aim here is to make sure that you are starting the walk nice and calmly. If the slip lead rides down, just simply place it back up and snub it in with a little snub. If the dog pulls, this is where you then need to stop, put a bit of pressure on backwards, pull back a little bit, just very slightly, and when the dog yields, you release the pressure immediately. Let's see that again. Here is Nicole and her dog Raya. Raya has learned to come off the pressure on the slip lead. So now Nicole can commence rewarding her for being in the right position. If Raya puts pressure on the lead, Nicole puts a little bit of pressure on. In this case, Nicole is turning in her walk, and you can do that if you want to. And of course, reward for the right position. You can see here how Raya has learned to follow her owner Nicole quite nicely. She has learned how to switch off the pressure around her neck with the slip lead. In this case, she's wearing a slip collar. And you can see how she very readily turns around, and of course then Nicole needs to then pay her very well with some nice food treats and a good girl, and be able to continue walking forward. This is obviously a little bit more advanced. However, it is started by the means of stopping, putting pressure on, release the pressure when the dog yields. Well done, Nicole.
That gives you a little bit of an insight as to the slip lead. If you are interested in using a slip lead for your dog's pulling issues, please do contact me first before you go out and buy one and put one on your dog. It is about learning the correct technique to be able to gain effective control of your dog. So please contact me. We can organise a Zoom consult, and I can give you the information as to where to go and get your slip leads from, and of course how to use them effectively. Hopefully this has helped you a little bit.